Cheesemakers in Ireland? Eamon says there's room for everyone.
There's plenty of room for everybody. There's about 500 tonne of cheese produced here on the island of Ireland, of farmhouse cheese. There's over 5,000 produced in UK. So we've a long ways to go, and a lot of our stuff would be exported as well, a lot of our cheese.
Eamon is married to Patricia, a teacher and daughter of the late Ned Power, the famous Waterford goalkeeper. They've 5 children, and Eamon is hoping one of them will continue the business.
I'd be hoping that someday maybe either one of the girls, I have 4 girls and a boy, I'd be hoping one of the girls, or indeed Edward, my son, might become interested in it. I mean, that's the whole plan, is just to, obviously, to do something. I suppose you'd like to pass it on to the next generation, you know. And that was what my mother and father probably set out to do originally. There was no set plan in place, but I mean, that's what you'd be hoping might happen, you know.
One of the big hits of the food festival is the farmers market. There's a great array of stalls and lovely fresh produce. I'm going to have a little sample of them, starting with Barron's Breads, which is run by Esther and Joe Barron. You're 3rd generation, is that right, Esther?
That's right, Mary, yes.
When did the company start?
It started in 1887 by my grandfather, and then my father took it over and he left it to me.
And you've got a great kind of selection of breads. Talk us about some of them. Are really old-fashioned ones that I remember from my childhood.
Yes, indeed. These are what we call the turnover loaves.
Yeah, I remember them.
And
my mother loved them.
You know, they're made in one big long tin with 12 of them in it, and they're very unusual.
Lovely and crusty, aren't they?
And crusty.
Lots of butter.
Loads. Well, you can butter, but you cannot better Barron's bread.
So this is goodbye.
With all this lovely food, you'd need something to wash it down, and what better than apple juice. I'm here with Julia Keane, and your apple juice is called what?
Crenwickthorne.
And what's that?
Crenwickthorne. It's the name of the townland where the orchards are.
Oh, and these are your
Yes.
orchards?
And they're my husband's orchards, and he sells to the fresh fruit market.
Oh, very good.
And I take the ones that are slightly odd shape or too big, too small, and make them into apple juice.
Why are we always told you should drink loads of apple juice? It's really very good for you. What are the properties that are?
Properties, it's an antioxidant. So if you're detoxing, you know, it makes you feel better. Supposedly very good for the heart and for the arthritis.
I see.
What more can I say?
Okay, well,
But we
I
better
think I'll
drink
go
it.
the detox route because it's about time. So I'll have some of this.
Great, thank you.
There's no doubt the centrepiece of the farmers market here is behind me. It's a pig on a spit. The smell is gorgeous. I think the pig has seen happier days, and he's being roasted by Fingal Ferguson. That's quite an operation you have going there.
Oh, well, we would probably pull this one out for special occasions. It's a very traditional way of doing the pig on the spit. We came up here for the food festival, and what we've done is we brought one of our pigs from home.
And how long has that been roasting now, Fingal?
Well, I was up 4 this morning. We had the fires going by about 5 o'clock this morning,
Really?
and it's going to probably take about 7 to 8 hours in total. It's all about doing it slowly, and the end result, you know, is worth it. You just get the juicy, tasty pork.
Well, it's a great take here, Fingal. Look at all the people here who are waiting to have a taste of it, with all the lovely dressings as well.
Yeah.
So listen, can I have a little taste?
You
'Cause
bet. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'd love to get you some.
tiny piece now.
Okay. You have to deal with the smoke. That's part of it.
Oh my goodness, there's tears in my eye. Poor pig.
Some of the price of
Oh
the piece, this is some of the
yeah.
crackling.
Oh, this is the good bit, isn't it? Gorgeous, absolutely lovely. Well, you know, we haven't just confined ourselves to pigs here for the food festival. We heard that at the other end of the county, in Dunmore East, there's an organic chicken farm. Now, it has a very intriguing title. It's called Born Free Chickens. And Geraldine Harney went along to pay them a visit.
Dunmore East is perhaps one of the most beautiful parts of County Waterford. Its closeness to the sea makes fishing an important industry. But the rich farming land here also makes it an exceptional place for agriculture. And it's here that Paul Crotty is following in a long family tradition of farming.
I've always farmed. I've done nothing else really. You know? We've been farming on this farm as a family since 1925. When my grandfather came here, and subsequent to that, then my father ran it. Sadly, he passed away in 2000. But I've been running the farm here since the late 80s, really. We've got a mix of cattle. We had sheep. The sheep are not really here anymore, but the chickens then, I suppose about 6 years ago, we got into the chickens in a serious way.
And these are no ordinary chickens. These birds are raised organically. From the day they arrive on the farm, they get first-class treatment.
This little lady arrived onto the farm about 10 weeks ago as a day-old chick. She's what we call a white Hubbard, is her breed. It's a French breed. And we get them in at day-olds. The reason we get those is they're sort of hardier breed of chicken, and they suit the outdoor life a bit better than your regular chicken. So she arrived here day one. She stayed inside in some heated houses that we have inside in the yard. She stayed in there for the first 3.5 to 4 weeks of her life until she got all her proper feathers, until they're sort of able to take the cold of being out in an open shed like this. She came out here then into the sheds along with all the other birds here. Out here she stays until she's 10, 11, sometimes 12 weeks old, where she has a pretty happy life here. Nice freshly bedded straw every day, good clean water, fresh air, and access to the outdoors. So she can wander around freely here for all that period of her life. And unfortunately then she's got to head off on her permanent journey.
The birds are sold under the Born Free Chicken label, which is a marketing initiative between Paul and the Ahern brothers, who are farmers in Middleton. So what is it about these white Hubbards that make their taste so much better?
The flavour of the chicken is a whole host of things. It's created by a whole host of things. One is the breed, yes. The other is sort of their surroundings, their access to outdoors, their ability to walk around, which gives them sort of muscle tone, and their feed, which is an organic feed. They roam around on our sort of organic pastures, pick a bit of grass, and the grass really helps them to get a lovely, stronger flavour. These chickens, they have to be in houses because obviously they need shelter from the elements. They can't just be sitting out in the field. But they have access all the time to the outdoors. They come in mostly during the middle of the day, and then last thing in the evening they'll all pile out again, get a little peck of grass around out in the fields, and back in again, in onto the nice bedded straw.
But this special treatment costs, and organic chicken is the most expensive you can buy.
We're only making a living out of these chickens. We're only taking a tiny percentage of that end price. So the chickens have to be, unfortunately, our chickens don't end up on the shelves at €22, but sort of 16, 18 euros is generally the price of our chickens on the shelf. And we believe that represents good value for money. You're getting a good size, decent sized chicken that's tasty, that's healthy, and that's chemical free, and we believe it's well worth it.
If you were watching closely there, you'll have seen a logo on Paul's jacket. It reads Good Food Ireland, and this is a new marketing initiative, only started last year, covers the whole of the island. The managing director is here in Dungarvan, Margaret Jeffers. OK, Margaret, you explain what's Good Food Ireland about.
Hello, Mary. Well, we all know that good food is local fresh food, and obviously here in Dungarvan today we have so many people and local food producers that are epitomising all of this. But where do we actually go as customers to find restaurants, pubs or cafes, or indeed accommodation that provides us with local, fresh and artisan food produce? Well, this is exactly where Good Food Ireland comes in. We go around the whole island of Ireland and we identify places and people that are committed to and passionate about and prioritise above all else their commitment to local artisan and Irish food.
I see. So if somebody looks up, do you have a catalogue, for instance?
Yes,
they look up your Good Food Ireland catalogue, they will know that the places they're staying in and the people they're buying from are all local producers?
Yes, and we have a set of strict published standards, and we also carry out independent assessment of all our properties, so the customer can be assured of the brand guarantee of that commitment to local artisan produce. So yes, that you can find out about us through our promotional literature, but also through our website.
Well, we've now left the farmers market and we've taken a gentle stroll uptown to the yard here at Dungarvan Castle, which is abuzz with things aimed at the younger generation, all food and farming related. And one of the main events here is a cookery demonstration by a gentleman who describes himself as a Druid Chef. That's Rory O'Murracon. What's a Druid Chef? Well, we asked the man himself. Well, there's a visual taste of what's going on here in the castle, but we've come indoors to meet up with the Druid Chef. Rory, how are you?
Hello, Michael.
What is a Druid Chef?
Well, the Druids were the people of knowledge with direction. You know, they knew the medicine, they knew the ingredients and all that. And as I look into Irish cuisine, you know, I name myself the Druid Chef, the person that knows the ingredients, the old ingredients, and that is able to come back to the table of the world with new recipes that represent Ireland.
And what is what you would describe as Celtic cuisine?
Well, Celtic cuisine is a fusion of all, inspiration from all the different Celtic areas, you know, linking Cornwall, Galicia, St. Gallen, Switzerland, Scotland, Wales, and the base here, Ireland. So I say it's using all elements of Celtic culture to produce that unique flavoursome taste.
And what sort of dishes would that present me with?
Loads of dishes, Michael. The repertoire is endless. I have the salmon and knowledge. I have Christian pagan pot roast chicken just here. And let me explain this to you. I use an imagery of the black and the white within the food. So a black and white pudding.
Christian pagan.
I have a whiskey cream sauce and I have a black Guinness sauce. And also I've given a combination of monastery style food using the grain, the old grain of the oatmeal, and I have nice herbs in there. So that is, you know, a modern style dish, but with a great story behind it.
And presumably this will grow, and in years to come we'll have an Irish cuisine which goes well beyond.
Well, I hope for all the chefs that are out there, you know, you can learn everybody else's cuisine, but you have to come back to your own. And that's, you know, what was missing so long. Now, here at the festival, there's Paul Flynn, Richard Corrigan coming over. It's great to see these people. Kevin Dundon, another great chef. You know, and all these guys are pushing the boundaries, because we have to go back to the table of the world and say, here we are, the Irish. We had the river dance. Now we have our Celtic food. Let's have a look.
Well, I'm still here at the farmers market in Dungarvan. I'm just having a little bit of a rest, don't you know, and sampling some of the lovely produce. These sausages are delicious.
I don't have one, unfortunately.
No, okay. Well, listen, why don't you tell the people what we have to tell them, and I'll tell you what this tastes like.
Not much of a deal. But it does bring us towards the end of the programme for this evening. Do join us again on Wednesday next. Until then, from the Waterford Festival of Food, from all of us in your team. Very good evening.